planning is good, it's essential, and not just planning, high quality planning.
Yeah.
Right. But in this entire process, what ends up happening is you get stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
And the problem is that planning seems like such a productive thing that every time you plan, you feel so productive.
No doubt.
But after a while, it's not productive. Execution is so important. So another thing that I see a lot of people around me struggle with,
Yeah.
it's just planning. You know, they have that why for them. They have everything right. Like they know what they have to do.
Yeah.
But they just struggle with the path or the proper timeline or just the process to get to that step, right? So I think planning, that is crucial. What do you say?
That is a very big thing, very prominent factor, I would say. When the concept of starting is like even discussed upon, right?
Right.
Planning has to be the very first thing among that. Because without plan, you cannot do anything. Right?
Exactly.
But I will also, like planning, everybody knows, right? Ki nahi yaar, plan karna hai. People plan for a long time, right? I have been planning for this business, or we have been planning for this business over a year now. Right. But making things happen is also a concept which people don't think of that much. Making things happen means execution. So I would like to now I would like to ask you this, that you have asked me planning. I will ask you planning versus execution. The trade-off. What will you say for that? Because only planning, I would say, is not doing the justice of how to start. I suppose whenever we think of starting, we should always have a trade-off in our mind that nahi yaar, planning versus execution. This much amount of plan is needed, but over this will not help that much, right? So you're getting it. Now, what's your take on planning versus execution?
That's actually a very important point put forth, because it brings to light one of the drawbacks of planning.
Yes.
Right. So what happens is planning is good, it's essential, and not just planning, high quality planning.
Yeah.
Right. But in this entire process, what ends up happening is you get stuck in a loop.
Yeah.
And the problem is that planning seems like such a productive thing that every time you plan, you feel so productive.
No doubt.
But after a while, it's not productive. Execution is so important. So I feel that trade-off word that you've used, right? Key. That is key. Because if you plan too much, execute less, you're not going to succeed. If you execute too much without adequate planning, you're not going to succeed.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So, and it's easy to fall in both the traps, man. I mean,
it's very easy, and I would say most of the people are there.
Yeah.
Either they are planning too much and not executing, or either they are executing without any sort of a plan. And both are failing in their ways,
that's true.
different ways, right? So I would say it's a very small concept which I have heard of from somebody else, that planning is just like a salt in a dish, right? If it's perfect, the dish is perfect.
Right.
Everything goes well. Your plan goes well. Whatever you are going to start goes well, right? If the salt is more,
the dish is ruined.
The dish is ruined. If the salt is less,
still ruined.
Right? So both the ways, it doesn't help.
Yeah, just the optimal amount of planning.
Exactly. So you have to be very wise and smart while planning. Ki mujhe kitni planning karni hai, and you have to be very well aware of that.
Yeah.
That whatever you are planning should be high quality planning.
Exactly. That high quality planning that you are talking about, I feel like even before planning, people need to study planning. Like, assume the fact that you do not know how to plan and now work your way towards it.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, there are such good books, there are such good, I would say, podcasts, or just such good value and material available on the internet. Like, you need to educate yourself about planning, right? Before you start to plan. But at the same time, I mean, this process can again lead to that cycle, that vicious cycle of just planning and planning and planning. So, what is the solution here then? Like, how does one not fall in such a trap?
I always think that the best solution is what our parents told us, is to write down things.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
So it's kind of a very basic thing which people always think of कि नहीं बेटा लिखना है लिख के करो.
Yeah.
But always they overlook it.
You know why? Because parents told us.
Yeah, maybe.
Parents की बातें lecture ही लगती है, no matter how good it is. Like, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
It happens. But then this is a very serious matter. Like, I personally write a lot of things. I personally divide my tasks and write it down so that I can get things out of my mind, and you'll be amazed by the factor when you start writing. When you start writing down, you'll not believe whatever you were thinking, you are writing more than that. So the efficiency, the productivity which we were talking about is 120-130% of what you are thinking. So, and people don't do it. People just say, nahi yaar, aisa karna hai, waisa karna hai. We'll have to do this, we'll have to do that, this and that. And they never come on writing. They never come on paper.
They don't understand the power of these simple concepts.
Yes.
You know, they think that everything complex is probably more efficient. Not true at all, is it?
Everything is not about coding. Everything is not about learning things or something like that. It's sometimes simple it's the roots, basics. Be clear and you will succeed. I suppose
that's really essential.
So this was the most I would say the basic to the basic thing which I could have ever imagined of, and I personally do that. So I will advise people or listeners who are stuck in that loop, please start doing it. Things will change, and things will change. Or otherwise, if you have some other, I would say, way which you have accomplished, then please let us know on Instagram. You can connect to us, and you can always come up to us and discuss things. We are always open for that.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I think just to put everything in a small conclusion, I would like to say that this planning and execution trade-off is a very vicious cycle that you can fall into. There are two traps: excess planning or excess execution. I think there are a couple important things here. One is, I feel, initially just take the first step. Right? So psychologically, you know that this project has started. Right? There's no turning back now. And to make sure that you don't fall in this cycle, this vicious cycle of excess execution or excess planning, introspect very regularly. You know, am I over planning this? Am I over executing this? Just keep that balance right.
Sometimes I really feel the concept of plan, do, check and act.
Yes.
That holds a lot of importance, right? You do planning, just do something, take action, and then just check. Because checking is so important, and then reassessing yourself and modifying yourself, and then again act. Right, again do it in a better way.
That's it, guys. PDCA, plan, do, check and act. That's the conclusion of that.
So that was a perfect discussion, I feel.